everyone, David Payne with Horizon Hobby. We're in Warrenton, Virginia, and we're here with Mr. RJ Gritter. We're very excited to talk through and talk about the new project that we have done in collaboration with RJ, which is our new Decathlon RJG 1.2. So RJ is going to tell us a little bit about himself, and then we'll get right into talking about the aircraft and all of the things that, the features that we put into it, all the real cool parts about it. And then in the end, which is my favorite part, we're going to go fly it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about you.
Yeah, well, thank you, David. I'm super excited to talk about the airplane and talk about myself a little bit. I'm RJ. I grew up in aviation, grew up in full-scale airplanes like this. And then starting at about 12, got really heavy into RC. I traveled around competing in indoor freestyle and outdoor XFC type competition for a while, and just got super involved with the hobby. And that's how I learned aerobatics. I went on to get my pilot's license on my 17th birthday, went off to school for Aerospace Engineering, and when I got out of school, saved up and bought the Decathlon that you see sitting behind us here, and transferred the knowledge I learned from flying aerobatics with RC models right into this thing, and now I fly air shows. So it's super cool to come full circle and have this model now. And
just for the heck of it, tell us a little bit, because you said you bought this Decathlon, but obviously you didn't buy this Decathlon, right?
No.
It's come a little way.
Yes, yeah. Strictly speaking, my parents and I bought a Decathlon that was strictly this airplane, but looked a lot rougher at the time. And I put about 1,000 hours on that airplane after I got it, learning aerobatics, starting to fly air shows. And a little over a year ago, decided to tear the airplane apart and give it a full ground-up rebuild to make it a true show plane. And
to me, you've made, in my opinion, the absolute most excellent looking Decathlon there is in the unit.
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, it's extremely impressive from inside to out. So
it's a blast to fly.
We're very excited to show that one, but also to show all the features and all the cool stuff that we've done with this one. Hopefully to emulate the full scale.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we'll talk through that, and then we'll go fly. Yeah, RJ, you and I have known each other for the better half, well, more than 2 decades.
Yeah.
Horizon has known you for many years, has watched you be very successful in the RC industry, and now becoming very successful in the full-scale industry. And we are extremely excited for this partnership with Horizon and E-flite to do a foam replica of this beautiful airplane behind us.
And I'm super excited to have a model of my airplane like this. I always wanted a model of my own airplane. I just thought I was going to have to build it and cover it myself. This is way more convenient. And it came out great. When we went to design the paint scheme for this airplane, I said I wanted a classic Decathlon paint scheme, but to look like a 3D RC model. And I think it worked out on the big airplane, and it's just awesome to have an actual 3D RC model that matches it.
Yeah, and I think that's, I think everyone who ever owned a full-scale airplane would love to have a miniature replica, right?
Yeah,
and to have one like this that looks this way and has this many details and features, I think it's just, that's extremely exciting from both sides of it.
And flies just as well as the big airplane.
That's something
impressive.
we should touch on a lot as we go through this, but I want to give RJ a lot of credit here, because in his routine, the full-scale routine, you can see a lot of the impact that RC has had on him over the time, right? And a lot of his maneuvers show completely different than what others do in the full-scale world, and it's all done from the RC background. And I think that's really cool and really special as far as making him different and stand out around the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. I really tried to bring RC inspiration into that world. And from years of developing freestyle aerobatic routines with the RC models, that was just natural. That's how I wanted to build that sequence. And I've been really impressed for the Decathlon, which is kind of an aerobatic trainer. It's a high wing. It looks like a big, slow, lumbering airplane. It is super aerobatic capable, and capable of all these maneuvers that we do with the RC models that you never see other people do with the airplane. So I like showcasing that side of it and bringing that stuff in. And there are maneuvers that, the crowd doesn't really know the difference, but at the end of my flight, RC pilots walk up and they're like, dude, I saw you do that. And they appreciate it. It's super cool.
The RC maneuvers show, the energy management shows really well. And and I think the RC model, I think everyone's going to enjoy it. My personal opinion, I think some of the older Decathlons throughout the years of RC were a little challenging to fly. We could say it that way, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
But I do feel like this one is extremely friendly. It's going to go to a wide consumer audience, right? It has safe AS3X. You can go from absolutely as mild as you want to be and as soft as you want to be to it's very capable.
It's extremely capable and very precise. I can't believe it's it flies like a pattern airplane when you want to fly a high-speed aerobatics. It's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah. We appreciate that. We're super excited for this. All right, so I'm going to open us up for a little bit of abuse here.
Okay.
But all right, as you own the full scale, right? You've done the whole ground up. How do you feel like we did on the RC model?
Ooh. I think overall you did a really nice job. I'm impressed with a lot of the little scale details. You've got like the shape of the wing with the fabric sunk between the ribs, which is cool. The little inspection covers. That stuff's all awesome. One thing you're missing, you look behind us, we've got the aerobatic sight gauge on the wing.
Yeah.
How am I going to know how to set my vertical and 45 lines in this thing? You know?
We'll work on that,
okay.
right? Maybe that's a 3D printed option part or something.
I'm going to print that and make that out there.
If that's the worst of the critiques, we'll take it.
That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So before we start getting into the features and the mechanics of this, you know, that's where your background is, right? I think a lot of people think that this is all you do, which I think all of us wish we could do that every day.
Be a nice time.
But tell us what you do for a living.
Yeah, so I'm an aerospace engineer, and that means I get to do a lot of stuff. I work from napkin sketch conceptual design of an airplane, like where are we going to put wings and rotors and things to make an airplane do something it's never done before, all the way through detailing it, through designing the structure, designing the electronics and avionics, prototyping, and then taking out to the field and flight testing. Yeah, so I get to see the whole life cycle. It's very cool.
With his background and history, obviously his critiques are going to be very interesting as we go through this.
Of course.
Now we get to do some fun. We'll start talking about the Decathlon from as you open the box all the way through some of the features that you have at the field, right? And convenience features for the aircraft. But as you go, as you take it out of the box, well, give me your first impressions. You've now built one out of the box, right?
Yeah.
So give me your first impressions of how that went.
It was super simple. I mean, you know, you've always done a good job with these airplanes, making them easy to assemble. But this one has some nice features that make it particularly simple, right? I will get into it here in a minute, but you've got the aileron servo connector built right in, so there's no wires to play with.
Hands-free. Yep.
You've got a nice little latch that holds the struts in place while you're transporting it. It was a very quick, easy assembly.
So yeah,
I was impressed.
As far as that goes, right, we have 6 screws that do for the landing gear, right? And that's just assembling the landing gear, the wheel pants, all that stuff's already installed. Your prop and spinner are already installed, right? And then you come back here to the tail. You have 3 screws to put the whole tail on, snap 2 ball links together, and plug in your light for your tail light.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go to the field. So now we'll go through some of the other features like, well, let's talk about the batteries. Let's talk about how wide of a range it is for the batteries, right? So we have 2 of the batteries sitting out here. So this is the 3S2200. That's the smallest battery we recommend, which gives you, you know, it's super lightweight at that size, but it also is, I would say, maybe called scale power, right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have all the way up to the big boy, right? So if you just want a super amount of flight time, right? We have a 4S3200 sitting here, which is a little heavier, but it gives you a super amount of flight time. The airplane still handles it very well, has tons of power. But I think you and I both, our favorite, and we'll talk about this as we pull off if you want to pull off the hatch there.
Absolutely.
We have a 4S2200 installed. This is the battery, in my opinion, for the aircraft, right?
Absolutely.
Weight, CG, power to, you know, I mean, the airplane will hover. It will do anything you ask it to do, right?
It great. It's awesome.
So, yeah, for a high-wing Decathlon that's scale outline to hover is kind of,
it's pretty special.
Yeah, right?
I couldn't believe it.
So, yeah, so there we go. We have a super easy hatch to get in and out of, right? It's magnetic, so it's super convenient, but a few other features that we can talk about as we go through this, but you can see in here we have a bind plug on the bulkhead there, so you don't have to reach in, you don't have to take your wing off if you want to share your airplane with someone else or bind to a different transmitter. You can get to it pretty easy. We also have, you'll see the little red plastic piece in there. That is the strut holder for when you're transporting the wing so you don't damage the wing with the struts. But we also wanted to make sure that you didn't lose that when you're flying the airplane, right? If you set it down somewhere and leave it,
I would lose it in a
gone,
heartbeat.
right?
Absolutely.
Then you go to home and you don't have those. So yeah, that's kind of just a storage holder, but another convenience. But now we can let's pull the wing off, right? Which is super fast, right?
Very quick.
Snap the struts off the bottom, and which you can just roll those and literally just twist those a little bit, and they'll pop right off. And then 2 thumb screws at the top. And if you want to go a little farther, just to make sure you don't scratch your really nice airplane, you can squeeze the jury struts together. And so you let the struts drop all the way down. That way we make sure we don't drag them across the fuselage.
Very cool how those go in.
Yeah, so no screws there to the jury struts. That's a note. But there you go. The wing is completely off. As he mentioned earlier, the hands-free. Uh-oh. It's okay. We're dropping bolts.
Sorry about that.
So as you mentioned earlier, the hands-free, right? So the connection's done all together already. So then you can stick your thumb screws back in, and you can lay the jury struts down, and you can use that plastic part in the front of the fuselage, which is super simple, and it snaps into the actual wing pins, and then it snaps the struts down. So it kind of holds them from bouncing and damaging the wing. Wow. And the whole thing's kind of packaged, ready for transport. Super easy, super quick. I guess since we're here, we can talk about, right? So this is the same scheme as what's on the bottom of your aircraft. And I think one of the things that we should talk about and point out, right, is to me, this is an amazing and beautiful scheme, but it's also a very intricate scheme. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot going on for a foam model of this class.
Yes, yeah, there's an incredible amount of detail. It's twice the number of stars that would normally be on the airplane. Yeah, but you all did an amazing job getting all that detail, and the detail of all my sponsor logos down the side. I don't envy you having to get all that right, but it looks, you got it just perfect.
Well, I mean, obviously you sent us the PDFs and you know, the trim scheme, and we were very excited, but I think at this scale and this size, that obviously became a challenge, but we looked into it. We went down the road of the water slide decals. It gives you a nice crisp finish, and as you said, you know, all the detail that are in the foam, the water slides kind of adhere and shrink down to that, so you don't lose all of that detail.
Yeah, right. I would have no idea looking at it that any of that is decal. It just looks like paint. It's beautiful.
And we've got the navigation lights on it, just like the real one, right? So I can't wait tonight to try to do some evening stuff with both of them sitting out there together like that. I think that'll be really cool. Lots of room in there to get to anything you want to do. We've got our our AR631 receiver in here, so you do have safe functions, right? So you have ASRX and Safe Select. So if you want to let someone else try your Decathlon, you can throw it in safe, or you get sun in your eyes or whatever. And it's kind of, you know, it'll save you from bailing out if you get a bug in your eye, or you can let someone else enjoy it first and kind of get the check ride before you let them on their own.
I'm excited to try that. It's going to be cool to be able to share my model with people that way.
Actually tell me about that, because you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tabitha, I'm hoping this will be the first airplane that she gets to fly. She's done a little bit on the sim, and I think does a good job, but it's going to be cool to, you know, take this out to the real world, and I think special for her to fly the Decathlon.
So we're looking forward to seeing this in the back of this one as it goes to airshows.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm going to take one of these on the road with me, sitting in the back of the airplane, put it out at shows, and, you know, often they do RC demos at the big air shows. And now I'm going to walk out and harass them and jump right in there.
It's ready to go.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right, thanks. You ready to go fly?
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Welcome back. We're here now. We're about to fly the new Decathlon. We're here at RJ's home base and field in Warrenton, Virginia at the airport. As you can see in the background, we're at a full-scale airport, which is super, we're very lucky to be able to do that, right? It's not very often to be able to do that, but we appreciate you setting that up so we can enjoy it and do it right here at your home base.
Yeah, I appreciate the airport manager working with us, and he's pretty excited to see it too. So it's very cool to do this.
Let's go do it. Yeah.
The blue and red.
Yep. Yeah. The blue and red one. You watch the blue and red one, and I'll watch the blue.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, ready?
No.
Okay, here we go. All right, we'll just cruise by and give them like just a nice level pass, right? You want to stay upright? You want to do both, or
I'll do upright.
All right. Get greedy and try to do like a knife edge slip pass with both of us? That's kind of what I was thinking. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Wait. All right, let's try that again. Faster would help a lot for me.
All right, a little faster.
Yeah.
Half throttle in the slip. Actually, I'm going to land and just talk with you some as you fly.
Okay.
You're finally getting to fly your new foam E-flite Decathlon RJG 1.2. What do you think?
I am loving it. This thing flies way better than a Decathlon model should. So I don't know what trickery you've done here, but the airplane doesn't think it's a Decathlon. This is really, really cool.
We can't give away our secret.
It rolls really well. It flies knife edge really nicely. funny thing is the full scale actually flies knife edge really well. You wouldn't expect a really high wing airplane like that too.
Interesting. For a lot of people, right? A high wing airplane like that, usually there's tons of coupling, right? And it's very awkward to try to fly knife edge that way.
Right.
But this one's actually very happy doing it. Minimal coupling. It's all speed dependent, but yeah, super happy doing it. And as you're flying it, obviously you can tell that you're doing some pattern maneuvers, a lot of maneuvers similar to your routine, and they're very clean, very crisp. It's very cool to watch. Well, for all of you out there, I can't wait to see RJ's full-scale routine this year. It sounds like the new abilities of the new aircraft, the new, you know, the new remodel of it is going to be super exciting for the air show crowd this year.
I'm very excited for it. It's going to be a lot busier. It's going to be more of a workout for me than it's ever been for sure. But
and it's great because the E-flite one will do everything and then probably even more, right?
Yes.
Nice little feature there. Your transmitter just buzzed at you, telling you that the battery's low. Right?
So that means I probably shouldn't hover on this battery.
Probably shouldn't hover. We probably should get you another battery.
That's disappointing.
It's really cool, right? With smart technology, it tells you, hey, don't mess up. You've flown enough.
Right.
Land and get another battery before you crash your airplane.
That is very nice.
So,
no timer.
Right.
You know, it's adaptive,
yeah.
right? It's going to tell you the right thing every time.
You know, if you're just cruising around, you don't want to shorten your flight for 5 minutes. It's not realistic, right? So, yeah, you can fly.
And I have to fly again because that was a horrific land.
We can do it again. We got more battery. Ready? I'm going to count you down.
Like a rocket launch?
Yeah,
Okay.
rocket launch.
Right.
Payne for the cameraman.
Of course.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
4S power. Think it'll hover?
Yes, it will.
There it is. Top up and all. There it is. There it is. All right. Nail the landing. Hey everyone, all right, we're done for the day. We got to fly here in Warrenton, Virginia at the full-scale airport with RJ. We got to go through and let him enjoy the new E-flite Decathlon. And what do you think?
It's a blast. It's a blast. This is probably my new favorite airplane.
There you go. A little bit more of this and a little less of the full scale now maybe in the evening?
It's going to be a little more even, yeah. It's a tough choice. Okay.
Good. All right, everyone, thanks for coming out and watching. We really appreciate RJ coming out and letting us make a model of his full scale. We're super excited for the cooperation together, and we really look forward to seeing this at full scale air shows, RC air shows, and even your just local club, right? It's for everyone. I think everyone will enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks for making this happen, and thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.